As of recording today, we got two defensive foundations today. First one is Funky Tomato. It is a 2-5 foundation with a +4 mid. It has add and ein symbols, which are all order and void. Has an R commit flip. After your opponent plays an ability that would increase this attack's damage, cancel its effects. So basically, you can flip, commit, cancel phase ability on no matter what they're doing. It's another one of those things that if it can do, it could still cancel it. So, but it's a solid damage. It's a solid card. It's a decent defensive card for those symbols, I think.
So you said like Ed 9 symbols. This is Ed 9's card.
Yes, I know.
If you look at the card number, it's 23 out of 125.
Okay, alrighty.
So this is from their section.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Mr. Co-host. But go ahead. Any thoughts other than that's decent?
Yeah, basically it's decent. I'm pretty sure that this will cancel resets. Because resets, as far as I know, are defined like in game terms are cards that both increase and decrease. Mm-hmm. They're just not bonuses or penalties because they don't have that plus or minus. So I think that this can stop Survivalist.
Because if it could do it, it can? Is that basically why?
No. Right. Like, even if they're just reducing, the fact of the matter is if the damage was, like, below printed, it returns it to printed. So it could increase the damage. Mm-hmm. For instance, Reward, which is a card for Lily that got reprinted, that is committed and another foundation and reset the damage of this attack or set it to printed. That's an ability that can increase and decrease. So we'll have to see how they end up ruling this, if they rule it like that, or if they basically actually, for resets, want to look at what the number is currently at. That would be a departure from past rulings, but I know that the rules are sort of in flux right now and should be clarified when the set comes out.
Yep.
So we'll see. I think the biggest thing is it stops Gateway Shuffle.
Yeah.
So
we needed this card a few years ago. Stops
the deadlocky on Wood Shield.
Yes, it does. Oh, that's another thing. That's another thing we didn't talk about Woodman's Leaf Shield and Fae. Tim, did you want to talk about that a bit before we go on to the last card?
There are a small handful of cards that affect Fae's and hands. Woodman's Leaf Shield, when it's in the card pool, increases the block modifiers of your opponent's cards by +1. Sniper Joe increases all block modifiers by +2, and Hanya, when it has been activated, increases
Sniper Joe
block mods. So can work for and against you. If you know that you're facing off against the Fae, and she really wants to put or do something with damage or with speed, then affecting those cards changes up their game plan.
This Fae does not say printed correctly.
Right. So thankfully, those cards do not give a +1 modifier to a card with no block.
Correct.
So you can't stop her from getting momentum. But you can change the speed or damage altering ability. But then at that point, you might just be getting them an attack or an asset. So,
but yeah, that's something that I thought
pick your poison.
Yeah, pick your poison. We just wanted I wanted to at least have that said because a lot of people may not know because we do have a lot of newer players watching the show. So that's some tidbits of knowledge that we're probably if you got those Woodman's Leaf Shields, play them against Fae. That's for sure.
Was it 1 or 2? Does the speed?
Yeah. And then
does the damage?
Damage 3.
So against Sniper Joe, she's never changing damage of an attack ever. And against Woodman's Leaf Shield, you could potentially make it so she can't do damage, or reduce damage, or increase damage.
That's
potentially. But other than that,
Rob, you want to take us down? Take us home with Bebop Blues?
Sure. So this is from the extras at the end of the set. I would assume there's at least 9. There might be 18. I'm not sure what
I
they.
think
Actually, no.
it's
Someone said Vicious.
It's 9.
Based on Vicious's numbering, it's only 9. So it's a 2/5 no block. Symbols are all good in order. So there we see the good in order again. R commit, discard 1 momentum. After your opponent plays an ability on an action card, cancel its effects. And R remove. After your opponent plays an ability on the same card for the 3rd or greater time this turn, commit their character. So I had a bit of an argument with Garrett Brett about that second ability and whether it had to be the same ability on that card. And I believe that the idea is that, yes, it does. I don't love the wording on it, but I don't word the cards. So presuming that, it's still pretty good. It gives just a generic answer to characters. I guess they already had stop, which I think was good, order, and death.
Yeah.
Earth. Yeah. But having this on a foundation, just sort of sitting out there, kind of can at least keep your opponent possibly in check.
What I like about the card is that my good Woodman deck has an answer to self-destruct now. And I know you hate that, but I think that's
Tim doesn't.
I don't hate that. Oh, I hate self-destruct,
man. Despise self-destruct, and this comes from someone that made 3rd place at a PTC running Ringman.
Were you running self-destruct?
Of course.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. The card's good. I mean, I guess. Like, you still need momentum.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You still need it to not be flipped with Hunt. So
look, it also protects your rain flushes or any of your good symbol multiples from prepare to fight.
Yeah.
It also, I am so happy.
Well, the thing is, I mean, if you're on good, you could already play good and evil.
Now, does it cancel? So, say someone does block an attack with a multiple prepared to fight. Does it just cancel that one effect, or does it cancel everything on the card?
No, it's 3 different effects.
Yeah, so you have to pick what effect. So basically, you would. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
The other thing I love about this card, actually, the thing probably that I love the most about this card, is that it's one of the one-offs at the end of the set, and it's a rare and not an ultra rare.
Mm-hmm.
Which in Street Fighter, every single card that did not belong to a character was an ultra rare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which really, really sucked because some of those cards you did not want eating up one of your 6 ultra rare slots in the set.
Plus, they were all actions and assets. At least now we know we have foundations on that page. So
that was okay though, because none of the characters in that had assets.
Well, yeah, that was by the design of the set though, because they wanted to make the set. I think was just geared towards beginners more than it was us, the experienced player. My favorite part about this card also is the art. The art is hilarious. The art's great. I'd love to play Matt.
So fun, Spike can't play this card. He's on the art. He doesn't have any of those symbols.
Does Jet have those symbols?
Jet has good.
Probably. Based on that video, I think I have him sort of locked in for fire, earth, and good.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. Cool.
So.
All right. So that pretty much is the spoilers up to date to now. So, Tim, your overall thoughts so far of the set?
I had a lot of knee jerks when they were previewing cards, and I still think some of the cards are a little overly powerful. I think if the entire set is about the power level of what we've been seeing and getting rid of Ruler of Time, it'll be interesting to see where the meta comes. I don't think there's going to be, so far with what we've seen, anything super oppressive, with the exception of maybe high roll gateway shuffle decks, but we'll see. Yeah.
Okay. Wait and see. That's Tim right there. Wait and see. Which is fine.
Well, the problem with the wait and see coming from Tim is that I don't want to wait and see when it comes to Jet. I don't want Jet to get the Guile treatment.
See, originally we were gonna have Shane come on, but he got busy because they're shipping out all the Premier Store displays. They have like 30 or 40 they're shipping out tonight. Yeah, I know. Don't the eye roll. I saw it. But I was gonna try to get a preview out of him of a Jet card. So, but guess there's next time. So Rob, your thoughts? I know you kind of talked about it on the second episode, but if you want to just maybe refresh people.
I don't know how to feel about this set. I mean, I think the cards are good. I think, honestly, I don't know. I don't think I care that much about like Gateway Shuffle. As the card that people were sort of freaking out about. I care much more about Ed 9. I don't like their design. But we'll see how they sort of pan out. I think the biggest thing is there's like an obvious change in the design philosophy. If you look at Blood Omen, if you look at Street Fighter, and you look at this, and especially if they keep on this sort of direction, I think they're basically going to invalidate almost all the characters from Street Fighter. The ones that have already been doing well, I think they're still fine. But the people that were like, I can't quite see like the cards that they could print that would make those sort of mid-level characters more attractive than the new characters that are coming out if this is what the new characters coming out look like. So I know they'll get the opportunity to revisit them in Street Fighter versus Darkstalkers. So hopefully we'll see, some new versions of like characters that people like. But, I also kind of was hoping that Street Fighter was all those characters kind of out of the way so we could see some of the kind of weird ones.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think it's bad. I think it's good. I think I'd rather play with cards like this than cards like we got out of Street Fighter for the most part.
You mean prepared to fight? That's pretty much it.
I mean, there were good attacks.
I know there were good attacks. I was just being facetious.
There are some really good foundations in Street Fighter too.
There were. I think it was very diluted. I think it looked like a set that they needed to come up with cards to round out all the characters and stuff.
I won't disagree with you on that, but I also think that they should have split Street Fighter up into two different sets.
Yeah,
they probably should have.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have too much to add. I think it's tough too. I mean, for instance, like we said with Faye, because especially these characters, I mean, they have 17 support cards, so like there's huge gaps in what they can do that we haven't seen. So it's sort of like Tim said with that wait and see. Like we have to kind of see some of the other stuff because I mean, there might be crazy stuff that we haven't seen.
Yeah,
we'll get people all up in arms.
Almost
again,
positive there is.
Probably.
Well,
Chris, how about you?
Yeah, me. I think my approach so far has been back from the ledge and just wait, because I was like I never lived through the absurd strength. I didn't play any of that. I just heard stories from like the elder players, and they got me worried. Like I don't want to face Tomahawk Man and have him Fey hammer me 3 times on turn 1.
That is going to happen.
I know that's going to happen, but it's okay though. It's fine. He's just going to get banned anyways because they just do that to characters that mess with control checks. So,
I think they'd rather ban Tomahawk Man than the ultra rare and the stuff that just came.
Oh no, I totally agree with you. I'm excited for it. I liked Street Fighter as a set as a whole. I thought it was lacking in some, like a lot. Like I would say, like half the characters are kind of boring. They don't, they seem like they just do. I don't know. They're designed to do too much with too little, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, look at Bison. Like I don't know. I wrapped my brain this morning trying to build a Bison deck using Nightmare Booster, and Devin's like, just use Kyo 2, and I'm like, oh well, Kyo 2 would be way better. Just interacts differently with the cards, but
that's still kind of bad.
Yeah, hey man, I want to play Nightmare Booster, okay? I don't know why, I just do.
Just run Felicia.
I know, that's what I said. He's like, just play Kyo 2. I'm like, I'm gonna try it, whatever. But I'm excited for it. I like to see new cards. I don't know, say Feyhammer aside, I think the rest of the set looks fine. The Ed and Ein thing does kind of scare me a bit because I don't want my hand dumped on turn 2 and then I die on turn 2 every time. So,
turn 3.
Or turn 3, whatever, as long as there's enough tools to live, because right now it still doesn't seem 7-handers are actually any good, Like there's so many.
It's definitely a high wire act.
Yeah, it just is. Like I think Vega is different because that's Vega and he just beats the shit out of everybody. So
I mean, Athena's still good.
Yeah.
Like there's good ones, but like if you're playing a 7-hander, like you don't just show up with like, oh, this guy's like decent. It's like you better have a plan.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah, but no, I'm excited for it, and the more I talk about it, the less knee jerk reaction I feel. Like the impending dread and doom is what I'm trying to say. I don't feel it as much the more I talk about it. So, but that's all I have. So, but. I guess we'll just wrap the episode up. I'm pretty sure we're probably like at an hour and a half or so, I think, roughly. So, Tim, want to say thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Joining us. Have you back anytime, maybe for the rest of the spoilers or whatever. Rob,
sure, yeah.
Always a pleasure.
I'm down anytime.
All right, guys. You guys all have a nice night.
Yeah, have a good one.